Hello, gorgeous goddesses. Happy Wednesday.
Hello, gorgeous goddesses. Happy Wednesday.
So good to see you. Let's open with some brags while people pop in.
I brag so much juiciness, sisterhood, and connection. I couldn't even ask for more. Like, it's just, I feel so grateful for you and sisterhood and love. Like, today has been a magical day, and I'm happy to be here. It's like abundance, and I can follow the thread of desire, and it's like there's so much abundance. It's like I can just follow what my pussy wants because it's so good. And I just feel so loved and grateful. And my mom is doing better. And like, I feel the village and cauldron of women and love. And it just
Mm.
feels delicious. So thank you.
Oh, I love it. Gorgeous brags. I feel it with you. Who else wants to give a brag? Let's do another one or two. If you don't want to unmute, drop it in the thread. Yeah, Nicole.
I brag continuing to lean into slowness and how much goodness is coming from being slow.
Uh, Goddess, to hear those words out of your mouth.
I mean, that call, the sacred seductress call around slowness was definitely a moment of like a safety in my body that I haven't felt in a long time. And the unraveling from that has just been so magical.
Oh, oh my gosh, what a brag. I'm so happy for you, truly.
Thank you.
I feel like every time I see you on screen too, like your energy is like there's like this brighter energy just emanating from you. So, oh, hey, Mooney.
Okay, I brag that I'm at the bakery in Uvita. Um, and I brag that I just left this incredible eco village where I stayed for a week called Yakumama, which means Mother of the Waters. And it was so beautiful, so magical, everything I could have wanted for the first place for me to experience Costa Rica. And I just got to experience a version of like living in harmony with nature that just like makes me feel like, oh, thank God a place like this exists. And it makes me feel so inspired. And I loved like participating in the life there, like volunteering and getting to receive. And I met some beautiful people, and I just feel really charged and excited for what's next.
Uh, oh my gosh. So happy for you. For those of you who don't know, Mooney and I were just chatting because I was so excited she was going to Costa Rica, and Ian and I met in Uvita, and oh my babies, we've always gone back to Uvita. So I'm like feeling it's like such a vibe. So I'm just feeling you feeling it right now, and I love it. And I'm just like picturing, I know exactly where you're sitting right now. It's like crazy. Love it. Okay, Kaya, give us our last brag for today. And if you have brags, pop them in the thread.
Okay, well, I actually want to start by upriding Nicole and like favorite framing her uh like creating safety in the body to slow down.
Mm.
That just gave me chills. It was so beautiful. And I brag that I have been watching the replays from the Good with Money course that G shared in the Sister Goddess group. And it has shifted so much of my like perspective around money, and money has been coming to me in just like these really tiny ways that I normally wouldn't notice. But like the physiotherapy appointment I was going to go to got canceled, which would have been like $150, and then I got rescheduled at a different place for like $85. And like I was going to go get mocktails with a friend, but instead we decided to go get tea because the place was full. And instead of spending $15, I spent $3. And like small things like that, that's just like working out. And I did a beautiful meditation to connect with myself in like 20 years. And she was just so vibrant and healthy and well and abundant. And I was just like, oh, I love her so much. And it was just so connective and so grounding. So I'm really excited about that.
Mm. I love this and just like where your mind is at. And I think it's just like so valuable when we're like trying to get into just like an abundant mindset or just abundant space, right? Of like, it's not just about money, but it's like exactly that. Like where am I receiving things, or even where am I already holding things that are like of, of abundant value? Because it's not just what we're receiving and giving, it's about what is around us. So love this for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. And oh, Mooney's song Wildflowers is out on all platforms today. So everyone, and it's Earth Day today, right? Yeah. So everyone, oh my gosh, go enjoy that. Beautiful. Is that the one that you sent us the video of? Oh, it was
Yeah,
so
so
good.
now it's out everywhere. So
Yay. Oh my gosh, I'm
thank
so
you.
excited. Ugh. I feel like it's like precious. Like it's just like was so beautifully precious. Or maybe I just received it in such a precious place, but yeah, so beautiful. Okay, I'm excited for this call today. Um, inspired, Kaya, I think you're gonna love this one. Inspired from conversations that Kaya and I were having, and the conversations her and I were having were like bringing up conversations that I remember going deep into in the last round of Kinky Business, and so I've just been sitting with it, and I think this is so relevant. Um, Probably for all of us. So we're going to kind of go into it a little deeper. So, um, okay. So what I kind of want to look at is how, when it comes to, I mean, it could be anything. It could be, uh, I find it so relevant in entrepreneurship. It could also be things that come up for us as mothers. It could be uh, as children in response to our parents. It could be in relationship to our relationship with other women, but it's really around this energy of like where we are responsible, accountable, where we have to make like commitment is required of us. And so what I have noticed is that there's that commitment and responsibility really can put a lot of women into freeze state. And it's like, wait, I don't want to be responsible. It's like this fear of. And um, like I would be quick to say, well, pleasure transforms pressure. It does. Um, how can we take responsibility so that it becomes our response ability, right? Like there's ways that we can transform this. However, of course, there's like an embodiment, a sensory experience that's involved because although this transformation sounds beautiful, it's never going to work if our body is still saying no to it, right? Because if our body is still having this like disgust or freeze or dissociative response to it, it doesn't matter because we're just going to drop out, dissociate, and or just completely perform instead of being actually transformed by it. So we're going to play around with this today because yes, pleasure leads to leadership. Yes, we can transform aversion to pleasure to leadership, but we're going to obviously look at the yummy in between place because this is where we always like to play, which is in the process of getting there, right? There's this in between that means that we need to regulate our nervous system through pleasure. We want to reframe responsibility so that it doesn't terrify us. And in doing this, we are literally activating our leadership response and healing. But of course, we are going to do this the only way we know how, which means we're going to play a little bit. And so I'm excited for that. And okay. So where we want to first start with, and I think it's just like really important for us to have a conversation around this, is like, again, when something comes up and it triggers us, as things will, in this case, the responsibility or accountability piece, we want to look at like, what is there? So let's look at what is there first, right? So what tends to come up, like the revolt or turn off around it, is that it kind of triggers this counter will. And so like our counter will to being often told to do something, or feeling like we have to do something, or feeling like we need or should, right, is that we just go into like procrastination, shut down. I don't feel like it. Our inner rebel might totally light up. We might also just totally start to like withdraw from conversations. Oh my God, I'm seeing this with my husband so hardcore right now. Right? Because someone wants something from us. So let's just take some popcorning here. And I'd love to hear, like, where are instances where you might be experiencing like this counter will around responsibility or accountability or commitments right now? Like, let's talk some like real time examples of where people are telling you you should do something, or people are asking you for something, or you're telling yourself you should be doing something. Kaya.
Well, I mean, pretty much everything. You already know my aversion to responsibility. I'm just like, don't tell me what to do. But to be more specific, I was having a conversation with my mom when we were going on a walk a couple days ago, and we were talking about CEFI, which is Children's Education Fund institution. So you put money in and then it builds interest, but you have to use that money towards education. I didn't go to university because, I mean, why would I do that? But she's like, well, we invested money and it's grown, and I want you to get that money. And I was like, okay, true. And they won't just give us the interest. They can give us what we put in. They won't give us the interest. So my mom's like, I want you to sign up for the courses, read the paperwork, look for the things so that you can sign up for the course, get the money, and then we can drop out of the course last minute and like get the money, and you can have a portion of that money because you're doing all the stuff. And I was like, oh, good, free money. But the being asked to like sit down and do the paperwork and register for the classes and look into all the things, it's like my worst nightmare. I hate doing stuff like that, like the fine detailed paper, like the word paperwork makes my skin crawl. So yeah, that's my resistance to responsibility. Like I notice myself getting internally visibly agitated and frustrated in this conversation with her. And yeah.
Okay, so good. And I love what you're giving here too. You know, like I think paperwork, right? Like I saw like other people nodding. Ew, gross. And I love how you started speaking to like your body's response. It makes my skin crawl. I'm agitated. I'm frustrated. Like these are the things that we want to take note of. So thank you. And I'm sorry to bring you into those sensations, but for the team.
Yeah. Learning moment.
Yeah. Lexiana.
Can you repeat the question?
So
I remember.
yeah, so where you are just like something that's happening in your life where you're being like responsibility is being put on you, or accountability, or someone's asking you to do something, or it could even be something you're telling yourself you have to do.
Um, I'm telling myself I have to generate funding for my album. Because I'm almost done with the demo building with my producer. And I get really I'm in this like like try and then get really frustrated at my result at no results cycle with money, and I have been for like a while, like a long time, which also makes me like even jaded to even try new things about it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. So the telling yourself that you have to generate funding in this case, but we all could say, I have to generate anything XYZ. And
I
so,
mean, yeah, I also want to, you know.
right.
It's not like it's kind of become an obligation because I need to survive and move through the world,
Yeah.
and I need money to do that. But I also want to.
Right. Well, and
It's
this is the
just
thing is like
heavy because I can't.
desire will die when we take choice out of the equation, right? So it's like this is that part where like responsibility or accountability can like take us out of the cycle of like, because yeah, you want to, right? Because the desire is like you want these albums, you want to be on stage, you want to be like known as like a worldwide performer, right? So the desire is there, but this piece around like telling ourselves we should or we have to kind of takes the fizzle out of the desire. So, okay, this is so
Yeah.
perfect. Anything else in terms of just like the feelings that come up when you see yourself slipping into the cycles?
I blame my mom,
Ooh.
and that's very disempowering. And also, like, I have so many good reasons to, but
Okay.
it's not helping me. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So
And it's not
frustration,
making me money.
blaming others, starting to project outward. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything where they're just like cringing under responsibility? Or can you think of a time where someone was like, you should, and you were like, oh, really? I'll tell you what you should.
I mean, I would just say the like responsibility of being the primary parent.
Yeah.
And in this moment, because like I am having this moment where everything feels like it's working, but certainly being the primary parent of two little kids and feeling the responsibility for everything and that, right, like everyone, they've outgrown their shoes and there's a new weather change, and so they've outgrown their rain jackets, and then you can't even go to a store to buy shoes anymore. So I keep ordering online and then they don't fit. And then I get frustrated because they don't fit and then they don't feel. So I guess, I that responsibility of being the primary parent and the one that's always thinking for and planning and navigating play practice. And then when does the play practice child eat? Because the older kid has baseball practice half an hour later. And how do I feed
Mm,
everybody and get everybody home and all
yeah.
of that peace and feeling? So for those of you who don't have children, like so much to look forward to. It's the best. And so I think that responsibility of being the primary person of supporting the lives and needs of two other um, children, humans. Uh, yes.
Okay, great. And so bodily sensations, like I'm hearing definitely like overwhelm just because it's like there's where is there ever a break?
Yeah, I would say like both this balance of like, yeah, like there's never both overwhelmed and just like you just have to keep going. There's no like
Mm,
if you stop, then it all is going to implode and it's going to be my responsibility for the implosion and the cleaning up of the implosion and the, you know,
Like
my
leaving.
daughter's rain jacket was too stiff this morning. And so I sent her to school without any jacket because I was frustrated that the jacket that I just bought didn't fit. And then I had like a meltdown because I sent my daughter to school without a rain jacket. And then we forgot our folder with her library card application. And it's just that like feeling this like devastation for her devastation of not having the library card application. And so I think, yeah, that just like that low level like stress that's just like simmering right there under the surface and makes it hard to have capacity for other things. And I'm in a pretty good space at this moment, and I can
Yeah.
still feel, and I still cried about that this morning and felt the stress of that load. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I kind of love this too, that there's like, why would we want responsibility and accountability if ultimately, like, if we ever fumble it, and then it just will lead to complete chaos and devastation in some way and form. Okay.
Mhm.
Callie, I saw you were going to put your hand up, or was that pretty much online?
No, I was gonna say, I was actually just about to type on that parenting note. I gotta jump to go get my kid from camp. So I just wanted to say hello. Yes, I have other stressors, but I put my brags and I know it's been a while. So I just wanted to say your wish was granted today. Meg did a special reach out like, I miss you. And I'm like, I miss you too. And I miss everybody. So I just made the time so I could say hi, but I do gotta jump. But hopefully I can see the replay to get the release because all this stuff, I'm like, yep, I'm all in that. So all of it.
Yeah,
Plus.
it's gonna be really fun. So you'll want to watch the replay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Love you all.
Love
Bye.
you.
Love you, Callie.
Bye, Miss Dina.
Bye, darling.
Okay, and Katie, you wanted to add something?
Hang on a minute. Yeah, I don't know if this is relevant. It's because my husband is the main, he has a business and he earns far more than, I will ever earn, inverted commas. And when I do have some work, it's almost like if something goes wrong, I have to drop that because mine's of no importance and mine has no value. And I jump in to support anything else that's going on. So it's this whole the responsibility of mine is not important compared to, so there's kind of this worthlessness thing. What I have to offer is of no significance compared to yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, I like
so
this.
then you just feel, well, I'm not important, and that.
Yeah. And how do you that, I mean, then it comes into like this devotional thing, because yeah, there's this value worthiness piece at play. Okay. Yeah, which I mean takes it even deeper, because then it's like your own internal devotion to staying devoted to the things that are important to you, which is like then this whole having to take a stand and using your voice, right, to like to keep the accountability and responsibility to those things that are important to you. Oh, it is so deep and rich and luscious. Okay, so we're going to, let's play with this. So the goal here, as like all these other pleasure things that we've played with, right, is essentially we understand that the feminine, the goddess, is the whole spectrum, right? She is the multifaceted, sparkly, twinkly diamond. And so, although she is beautiful and powerful and creative, and she's also chaotic and ugly, and there's grief and rage, and there's all the facets. So we don't want, like, our goal is not to eliminate counter will, but as long as we are making it conscious. And we also, like I've talked about on these so many times, like micro choice, like those micro choices that we can make are so important. And we also want to restore that clean desire and devotion, kind of like going to Luxiana's piece, right? Like, well, I still want to do it. And, you know, even Kaya, like coming back to you, like, well, you still want the abundance and you still want the financial freedom. So like there's all the desires that are here, but we want it so that like we just don't fizzle out the desire because of the pressure that comes from responsibility and accountability. So we want like with the swamp, we give grief and rage time on the stage. With the Biff crawl, we give our desperation time on the stage. And so we're going to play a little bit with really, it's kind of like the opposite of the yes move. It's kind of like we're going to play with a no move and just play around with like really letting ourselves feel like the disgust of responsibility and just like, no, I don't want to sit and do paperwork. Like, no, I don't want to give up my free time to have to sit and do something. No, like, even though I want, you know, yeah, I want the money, even though I want to be on the stage, like, no, what are all the things that you actually want to just really savor and like, you know, we can be performative. This is where we do kind of get to play it up, but just playing up the true feelings that you have in your no, right? So that we're just giving it space to have awareness. So I think I'll probably pop you guys into breakout rooms. But I would love if anyone just like is like, oh God, I just do want to say no to, if there's someone you just want to say no to so badly. It could be like, God, I have to run to the freaking post office and you know you don't want to do that. I don't want to get in the car, whatever it is. It could be, no, I don't want to go to like crochet club tonight. So it can be big or small. But anyone who just really wants to have fun saying no right now. Luxiana. Okay, perfect. And hang on, I'm just going to make sure I have my sound shared. I'm going to give you some like really luscious audio in the background to help perk you up into your no.
Okay.
And
I'm gonna stand up.
yeah, please. And like get exaggerated movements and just give us like all of the no's.
Oh, okay. No, I don't want to keep figuring it out. Like I don't want to keep trying and like doing and like figuring out solutions and like asking people for help because like I don't have a car and I need to fucking find a car to go to my gig that's 2 hours
Hey,
away.
give us more like from your gut though. Like let us feel like the
Okay.
disgust, like, oh no, I don't want to have to figure out how to get in the car. Give us like right from the gut.
Okay. 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 No, I don't want to keep living with this old lady that's completely fucking crazy. And like, she's already hurt me so much, so much. And like, she makes everything harder. And I have to like live here and be with her and deal with her and deal with her shit every single day. And like also figure out how to be okay while being in this freaking toxic environment. Like, no, I don't want to keep doing that. I want to go make my album and I want to go like step into a reality where things work for me and I'm not stuck here in this castle on a hill that's like a complete fucking lie.
Okay, so good. So actually I'm not going to do breakout rooms because there's so many more layers that I want to do. So we're all going to stand up, unmute if you want, and we're going to do it no move where we are just all going to say no. I'm going to put this ridiculous circus show music on in the background so we can just like get nutty with our nose and just let yourself feel like the disgust of like, God, like how badly, like, no, I don't want to do these things, whatever it is, responsibility wise. Okay, here we go. No. No.
No, I don't want to do the fucking paperwork. No, I don't want to spend on paper for hours and hours reading the fine print. No, I think I'm gonna have to go my
I think you want stuff is nonsense. I stick a freaking
Oh,
words.
don't make me look like my teens all again. No, no.
I am not going
No.
Powerless and without
Why
I
would
don't want to
you?
do. I just
when there's over 100 people
applying to all of these jobs.
and feeling as though you're important,
AI
important,
for everything.
Oh my
just to know
goodness.
that
I don't want to waste my
I
time.
hate it.
Amazing.
I hate it, hate it, hate it.
Amazing. Okay. Let's just favorite frame that for a sec. Because that sounded incredible. Yeah, just favorite frame. What was that like to say? To have the space to say it all and to witness everyone else at the same time.
I
I
just
just
think
feel
it's powerful to see a bunch of women saying no to things that we're sort of expected to say yes to.
I feel like, and right now with the things that are coming up in the world, like women being able to say no, it feels, yeah, wildly powerful.
It felt easy with everyone to
Mm.
say no.
Ooh, okay, I like that. So, right, because sometimes saying no feels really hard. Yeah, great. Okay, Joanna, give us yours.
Sorry, did you say my name, Meg?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was incredible to do this in a room full of other women because it was just, I don't know how it's like so easy to forget and just feel like we're alone in our just yucky, helpless, like resistance. But then to do it in a room full of other women doing the same thing with all of that resistance coming up and like it's basically like a adult temper tantrum. It felt so good because it's like one thing to feel resistant and um just like holding back so much and feeling like you're just like dragging a weight behind you, and another thing to feel like you're doing that all the time alone by yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was just beautiful to like look out and see all these beautiful, gorgeous, like successful women all over and thinking like, yes, this is natural. Like they are in it too.
Yeah. Okay, I
So
love
thank
this
you.
too because this I feel like this is so big, in the like when we're talking about like successful women and especially like again in business and entrepreneurship and it's like where do we get turned on by no's, right? Because it's like sometimes it's uncomfortable to receive no's, like if we're in a launch and we're talking to people and it's like, oh fuck, so another no, right? Like for like I'd say like 90% of the people, a no will cause people to quit, right? So we have this relationship with the no of like, how do we get to be turned on? Also, like Laura said, it's not always easy to say no. So also, how do we get to learn to be turned on about giving a no? I mean, because I feel like that, like who has ever told us, wait, you could be turned on by saying no? That's like an unheard of concept. Katie.
Yeah, just mention I can remember one time that I said no to my dad, and I was 21 and I was just about to leave college and I'd got a job lined up and one thing and another, and he called me home and I had the only time I ever had a blazing row with him and said I wasn't, I hated so much about what was happening at home with my grandfather, with so much. And I was, you know, the first time I ever actually stood up for myself, and I lost it. He won. And I've never really, and that's when I started, I think one of the others, that's when I started drinking. And that's when I really lost myself. I'd lost my ability to say no to anything.
Yeah.
It was that thing. So it's a bit of a thing.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, this is so like, this is again how the patriarchy manages to do this over women, right? Like, oh shit, I got in trouble for saying no. So this is also where it's so important to actually, again, come through this destiny here or something.
But I can remember where I was sitting. I can remember the phone. I can remember every detail of that, pretty much of that conversation.
Ooh.
And that was it. It was like the plug was pulled. And
so, okay, will you do this next practice with me?
Yeah.
So this is like a little scene play where we just there's like a request and a response. So I'm going to give you a few neutral requests. And so your job is to not comply, because what I want you to do like a micro pause and actually like notice your immediate internal reaction. So like just tracking, like, okay, wait, when she makes this ask of me, okay, is there resistance? Is there softening? Is there defiance? Is there desire? And then, so do your micro pause and then respond truthfully. So notice, are you a yes? Are you a no? In honesty, is there hesitation? Or is your desire actually like negotiation? So there's these four options: yes, no, hesitation, negotiation. So
I'll have to write that down.
let me put it in the yes, no, hesitation, negotiation. I personally love negotiation. Okay, so, and we'll just play with this because I think this is good because you feel the aliveness of this memory with your dad. So, so neutral. Katie, come closer to the screen. That was my ass.
Oh, I don't even fucking question it. I don't even, somebody said something to me and I don't even question in it. I don't even question it.
It was so entrained. So, okay. So that was information. We'll do it again.
Oh, shit. It's shocking.
Yeah. It's also reality. I think we probably all would do it. Okay. Katie, look at me. And then take a pause. And what would your response be?
The hesitation.
Okay,
is like, why?
Right. Katie, stand up.
It's again a hesitation. That was well, what for? You know.
Okay. Let's just do one more. Katie, shout out hooray.
Say that again.
Shout out hooray.
Again, everything now is hesitation.
Okay.
Because
which could be in response to the first one, right? Because now you're like, oh shit, I'm so responsive. Maybe now you're hesitant.
It's like I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to get it wrong. There's a fear of either being, made a fool of, or somebody there's a fear of not knowing how I'm supposed to respond. And I think that's been a bit of a thing for me.
So good. Okay.
You either do what you're told, and if you don't just do as you're told, then what you're supposed to do, because you've not got a mind of your own.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, the rule here is we don't, well, it's like not the rule, but we don't want automatic compliance, which society has so completely entrained. I just think that was like so perfect. Your first response, right? It wasn't performative. Like that's the thing here is like it was automatic, right? But this is the invitation, that micro pause and the micro choice. So even with the hesitation, I mean, any of those can be truth, right? Like, sure, maybe it was true for you that you thought, oh, well, yeah, I'll just move closer to the screen. But is it actually in your truth if I ask you to stand up? Like, unless there's a reason, maybe you don't want to stand up, right? Like, because is it just a command? So we're playing with this and allowing yourself to only respond in truth. So this is so revealing, right? Because all of these pieces are coming up of like, okay, wait, I don't want to do the wrong thing. I don't want to be made a fool of or feel embarrassed. What was the other thing that you said? Well, I want to make sure that I want to respond how I'm supposed to respond, which is such a great reflection of the entrainment, right? And the standard of like we're supposed to do what we're told, which is just a narrative that has been drilled into us, right? And so this is where when we're talking about powerful women holding the power of responsibility or accountability or commitment, well, we don't want to carry those things if it's just something we're being told to do. It's powerful when women are doing it out of their own sovereignty, right? Because it's in the hands of creative women who are here making decisions and taking action based on what their freedom is driving them to do. So, okay, so that was like this neutral play at it. So now what we're going to play with is what happens when we play with this, because again, it's the retraining, right? We want to get it into our body. So right now, Katie, you're having these memories popping up. You're also having this like shit. Like I have this automatic response. So now we get to just play around with this entrainment. But we get to turn it on. So I'm gonna make these requests. Okay, let's see. I'll get someone else to play with who wants to play. Kaya, maybe since we were inspired by you, I'll have you do the second part. Okay, so hang on, let me spotlight you. And I'm going to be a little bit, you'll see how my requests can also change. Well, actually, I'm going to start with the very same one that I started with, Katie, but Kaya, will you lean in a little bit closer to the camera for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, because you asked so nicely. You
So
seduced me
good.
towards it.
Okay, and so we saw she paused, right? She did a pause, and we could see like with her eyes that she took a second to think about it. Kaya, I have a stack of papers that I really need help going through. Would you help me look at them?
I could be open to negotiations.
Hey, so good. We will ask more about that in a second. And let's do something with money. Kaya, I have $10,000 in sales to make. Would you please hold on to the $10,000 for me so that it stays safe?
No.
Thank you. Okay, we're just gonna stop there. So this was so good because we had three different responses. So tell us a little bit about what came up with each of them.
Well, the first one, it was such a simple request. And I like the flirtation and turn on was there. So it pulled me into it. And there wasn't a part of me that was like, I don't want to do this. The second one, the relationship to it was at first it was a no. You said papers, and I was like, no. But the way that you asked it, because there was the turn on, it's like it was dancing with my own turn on and seducing me into it. But I was like, well, I'm not just going to do paperwork. We know this about me. But like, there was a bit of like, well, what's in it for me? Like, how can we make this a balanced exchange?
Right.
And the third one, I actually noticed my own, and I've been really reflecting on my relationship with money lately, and really just getting a good, clear look at it. And I felt what you and I have discussed about it before, where I was like, oh God, I can't hold that. Like, I don't trust myself with that much responsibility for such a big thing. And I was just like, oh God, I don't want to lose it. I mean, you'd put it in a fucking savings account and you leave it there. But, there was that came up in my body as well. So that was a really beautiful noticing for me to see how deep this almost distrust with myself and money comes in.
Okay. So, and I like that one, like you being able to notice that, like you had a resistance to me in the same way that you'd resist money for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And probably even more because it's like, oh God, that's not my money. Like, wait, you want me to hold your money? Ugh. Right? So information wise, so here's like where we want to start to again stay with like noticing, right? Is when was your body opening? So we saw your body open with seduction, right? Seduction made you more open to saying yes. When there is room for negotiation or you getting something out of it, there is room for yes, right? Resistance goes down. Meanwhile, it was interesting with that last one, like there's actually like heightened responsibility that was in that ask where you were like a clean no, right? So the piece here to pay attention for everyone is as you're going through, when you're playing with this in like a turned on scene like that, and ideally it would be, I would love for us to have the space to all play with this. So thank you for the babes who were helping with the demos today. But is that attunement to what actually creates willingness for me, right? When there's responsibility, because that is where we can begin to open the door to pleasure, right? So, because this is huge for relationships, intimacy, leadership, receiving, all of it. And also paying attention to like when you still have a no, what does my no protect? Right. And so we saw that with Katie's, right? The like, well, it depends. Like, I need to know why you're asking me to do that. Right. Because it's like, is your no something that's going to protect you, or is your yes actually open? Right. Am I overriding myself or am I being true? So, what makes a yes and a no feel clean? But we can also take this another layer, because of course we can all do these things at home. So it's fun because we can play with this. And honestly, like how I would really love to do this practice too is like a full like kink scene where we could play it, really get attuned to like what are all of the things for each of you where your responsibility would be in that like mode, and just get like kinky and turn that on. But let's just play with a second of doing that, like of seducing ourselves. So I'm going to put on a turn on song again, where each of you are just going to go through 3 commands. And it could be, so if like you have something right now that you are resistant to, it could be a command around that. Or you could just keep a neutral command, but be seductive with it. So it could be like giving yourself this directive of like, soften your body and see how your inner response reacts to that. I'm thinking of you, Nicole. You could be like this inner directive of slow down and see what happens. Like, what is your inner response? But you could also still play if you want to be like really masterful with this. It could be like Kaya's could be like, go fill out those forms right now and see what happens. Or Nicole's could be like, you are going to go put on a sexy jacket and pick up those kids for soccer, right? Like think about like what is the command that would feel edgy for you. So you're going to give yourself 3, and then maybe do like a neutral one and then see if there's some edgier ones. And we're adding some sexy music in the background. So this is how we can like sexify these scenarios. So everyone just take a second, drop in, give yourself these 3 commands and just see what it is like to receive directive from yourself.
It's not love till you lost more than a little bit. Feel the heat on your neck. It's not real till it's gone and you're no longer holding on to it. If we wanna get close, then we'll need to get lost in the heat of it.
Fun one to get started. All right, let's do some favorite frames. What did you notice? That was really actually a great practice. I got new awareness myself. Anything?
I'm going to pick up my mother's medicine and I'm like, oh my God, I'm on the floor. I'm doing S Factor. I'm so turned on and so in a hot embrace and rapture. I'm so turned on. And when I was listening to this call, I was doing dishes with you guys because it was so pleasurable. And it's like, I feel the play, this transparency, this play. Oh my God, there's something about sisterhood, naming it, claiming it, playing with it. And now like this fire, like my nipples are hard, my pussy is pulsing, and I'm like, thank you, women. This is oxygen when we come together.
Thank you. Sandra.
I think for me, what was the most revealing was that it was the opposite of what I thought. Like the thing I
Oh,
thought that would be like the worst one, where I would just be like, no. I was like seducing myself, and I was like, well, actually, I really want to do that. It's just, I have resistance, but I actually really want to do that. Like, it's like and then like making dinner for my son, I actually like was real hard no, which was so fascinating because, right, that's just overridden because of shoulds, right? Like, there's not even not even a question. Of course, I make dinner for my son, so there could never be a thought of yes or no.
yeah,
It was just so, like with Katie, it was just overridden, just,
right.
so it was like, oh no, and then I love to exercise, but commanding myself to exercise also like was like, ugh, so like I thought it would be yes to exercise, negotiation with my son. Anyway, it was completely opposite.
Oh, so good. Okay, so invitation there is like sit with. So what information does that? Because there's just awareness. I mean, even hearing you share it, like, okay, wow, this here are where actually these are my true no's. And so now knowing that you can take these like micro pauses and yeah, although there are things that, where the no is overridden, of course you're going to provide food for your son, but like where do you get to be in your power, um and yeah, perhaps invite pleasure now while honoring the fact that, oh shit, now I actually know those are no's. um and also the one where you were like, oh, actually I do want to do that information, right? Yeah. Okay. And then let us know in the thread what you come up with. Kaya.
Um, it was interesting. I'm learning. So growing up, I brag that I have been selfish, and I know that I put so much shame on myself for being selfish. Like, I very rarely wanted to do something unless there was benefit in it for me, unless it was something I loved doing. Like, I always loved showing up for friends, holding space, sharing connections, like helping people get places, like whatever I could offer when I had the capacity for it. I could offer, but the smaller things, like the actions I had to do for other people, I was always like, well, that drains my energy, so why would I do that? And I've done a lot of work around the shame around it, but I noticed it coming up again today where I was exploring it like, okay, so my mom is asking me to do this paperwork because she is super busy. And also I was like, well, you get to do the paperwork so that you also get some money. And I'm like, okay, there's gain here. It's not just me throwing my energy into something and there's no return on investment. And for my sister just got her tonsils removed. She just moved out of the house, so half of her stuff is here, half of it's like at her place. And she's like, "Can you find my painting art supplies and bring it over?" And she has so much shit. She has so much shit, and I need to like tear apart her room to find this paint that might or might not be there. Um, but she has a tire pump and my tires need some air. So I was like, okay, exchange. I will sift through the craziness of her room or the basement or wherever it is. And like, yeah, so I think what I've noticed from this is negotiation is my turn on point when it comes to responsibility.
Yes. This is so good. Okay, breakthrough. So what is so huge about this, right? So what we kind of just went through was like we kind of went through these phases, right? Like first revealing, so playing with the sacred, like what your sacred no is, revealing it, bringing in turn on, and then integrating it, which you kind of did when you went through that with yourself. And so what we're getting out of this is we practice restoring agency one with the nervous system, right? So it doesn't just fall into collapse or disgust or dissociation. We reconnected your embodied choice with that micropause. And then, and again, in bringing in the pleasure practice around it, we're clearing and also giving it space to shine, clearing distortion around responsibility and obligation. And so, like these breakthrough pieces coming in, right? Where, oh, devotion, okay, well, devotion can't exist where there is pressure. This, my desire is going to die if it feels like there is no choice for me to make in responsibility or obligation. And also playing around with like, does a true yes have more permission to exist when you actually allow your no? And that choice piece too of like, well, am I here for, like, am I hesitant? Am I just going to hesitate for a moment because I need more information? Or is there a turn on in negotiation? Right? Because I think this is the thing too, is like when we think that we're obligated to do something, it's like we don't ever want to feel like, oh, my freedom, right? Like I don't have a sovereign, it's like Katie, right? Like when you used your no and then were reprimanded, right? So it's like if we do not, what was the thing that you had said? If you don't do what you're told, then you will be punished. And it's just like all of these systems in school. If you do not complete your homework, you shall fail. In university, if you do not study for the exam, you shall not receive a degree. All these things that are worked into the system that feels like it's like we have no choice. It's like what you just said, Katie, right? Like, oh shit, I actually have choice in here. And so this is the thing to just like play with, and I'd love for you guys to share in the thread too, as you sit in your integration with this, like what are the breakthroughs that I feel like there's a lot of breakthroughs here in today's call. So in playing with choice and like kind of scanning it through with these practices in your body, what have you learned about your no? What have you learned about your yes? What have you learned about choice? And share that, because I think it's like in the digestion of that where the breakthrough can really stick. And the other side of this is having more sovereignty and more power if you can actually turn on responsibility and obligation. I feel like it's so funny. I noticed the other day with taxes, like who wants taxes is one of those things. It feels like a responsibility. Do you not want to do that? And then I thought, after the Toronto event, I was like, I just need to relax. And I literally said to myself, oh, perfect. You can sit down and like do your taxes. And I was like, whoa, did I just think doing my taxes was like a relaxation process? Like it was wild, but that is what it feels like to me when I'm able to have the choice to sit down and drop into it. Because it does feel relaxing for me to sit and organize. And so like my taxes are now like a restful practice that I can go to. I would never have thought that I could say that until I, play around with choice. Joanna.
I'm going to leave my video off because there's not great service in the forest here on Earth Day. But thank you. I just wanted to share something that like really started landing in my body and mind when Kaya was speaking this time and last time, because she said something along the lines of like she grew up thinking in terms of like give and take, like what can I get out of this situation. And if it's just going to cost me a lot of energy, like, I don't want to do it. And I just thought, like, wow, like, because her last two responses to you in the game were, I think, negotiation and a no. And mine, like, when I felt them in my body, they were both hesitation. And they're hesitation because I think, like, the visceral, like, my body was saying no. And my conditioning was telling me, like, I never had that mindset of like, well, what will I get out of it? It was always like, okay, if I help this person, like, how fucking exhausting will it be? And like slowly learning how to set boundaries on the energy I give, but never really like, still, what will I get out of it? And so there's still like a resistance, as if I'm like dragging an anchor behind me, because it's like part of me, the embodied part of me doesn't even want to do it because it's like not my responsibility, or it's like unnecessary or too draining. And the trained part of me is like, no, or negotiation is not really an option and never really was. And it's like, how much am I able to exhaust myself for the sake of giving or donating to this other person? And I'm just like, fuck, like, I would, yeah, like, learning how to just be like, what am I going to get out of it? And if it's not enough, or it doesn't feel good, or the right time, or is too draining, it's just a no, or a negotiation maybe.
Right. I love this. So, okay, new lessons around boundaries today. And I love this awareness of, okay, great. So you're learning something new about your no. And I love this invitation too with negotiation, right? Of like, because negotiation, I think, is really like where we can turn ourselves on, right? Because it's like, well, I am a no, but I might be a yes if, and that piece of like, what do I get? Also, what do I need to be a yes? And I think that's where it's like really fun and seductive in conversations with people. Like I think about that with retreats. Like I remember when I did the tantra training, and it was like I really, really wanted to do it. And I like just the thought of like, well, I'd like to do it more if there's like an opportunity to be like to assist at it. And if that could drop the price, I would like it a lot more. And so it's like really giving ourselves, there's so much there when we sit and go like, what do I, it just all comes back to desire. What do I really want? So yeah, this is so good. And celebrating, Joanna, what you're taking away with boundaries. Lori.
Thank you. I so wanted to speak this. Yeah, this really helps me because my mom's condo is still on the market after 3 months, and there was dread, or I have to go over there and like run the garbage disposal, run the water, and I don't like the place. And now I feel like I can play with it, like step into this role, like you were saying. When you step into a role and make it fun, like, oh, I'm here to pussify the place. I'm going to take some essential oils over so it smells really good for me and I can enjoy this, doing the maintenance part of it. And I actually feel juiced about it now, just talking about it. Like, oh, good. Okay, we'll do that Friday because Friday is more of a fun day than a Monday or a Wednesday. And I'll just make it fun and play and probably wear something fun so I can play in it. So I mean, that does make a huge difference for me, the reframe of it.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the power, again, the discipline of the art of pleasure. And this is the mastery, right? Like being able to turn on any situation. And this is a huge part of it, is like there's choice. And also, how do we take the things that we're a bit more averse to and make them something that actually might turn us on?
Yeah, I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I'll picture you on Friday turning it turning the caring for your mom's house into this pleasurable adventure. Amazing. And this is like where I was telling Kaya too, like, I think where we could really have fun is like I said, turning it into like a kink scene, like where's the thing that's like not our biff, because the biff is when we're longing for something, but like, like our no move, like where are we like deep in a no, and then actually like asking someone to just like be kinky and like command us to do something, it's like, if Kaya and I played it out with her not filling out these forms, like I could command her to go and work on them. And then if she was like, no, I don't want to. And then it could be like, well, Kaya, I'm going to need you to get on all fours so that I can spank you now. Like we can make this really, would be way more fun in person. But just to be able to like, like how do we turn it into like a whole sexy escapade, and that can even like scenes are fun because you can play them out. So like Kaya and I could talk about like, okay, well, what's the punishment that you want? What's the naughty punishment you want me to give you if you keep telling me no every time I ask you to go fill out these forms, right? Because her mom's not going to play that out with her. But this is again, as we are all just oxygen for one another. Where we get to step into really good sistering. We could even ask our partners, like say, listen, I am really resisting this thing. We don't get anywhere when we're in resistance, right? It's like the energy will shift when we get into right alignment with it. So how do we give ourselves space to be with the resistance and find some clever way to turn it on so that we can shift the energy? And I mean, we are just the cleverest group of turned on babes to go about it. Okay. Ooh, this was fun today. Gosh, we went like way over. But so much here. So yeah, keep digesting in the thread. Like come share your aha moments. Share what you have been inspired, how you're gonna sexify, pussify it. And for those of you in Sacred Seductress, I will see you tomorrow. Okay, goddesses.
Thank you. Favorite frame, sexify. How do we sexify it? Thank you, queens. You're so hot. Love you all.
You're welcome. Love you, babes.